So from a means of recovering in a short time frame to the most important means of recovery, it's sleep. So this is the key question here. Are you getting enough? It's not a loaded question, right? But Amnesty International, they say that the most common form of torture around the world is sleep deprivation. So are you torturing yourself? So the research shows that it is a normal bell curve distribution, and 90% of us, we need between 7 and 8 hours every night. Maybe you're lucky enough to be in this percentile that you only need 4 or 5 or 6 hours to be fully recovered. Congratulations. But maybe you need that extra hour or so to be fully recovered and to be at your best during the day. If you're in the other percentile, wow, if you need 10, 11, 12 hours to fully recover at night, hey, maybe your company would have kicked you out a long time ago, right? But you always have an option. Do you know what you do if you need this amount of sleep? You go to university and you become a professor. These guys just sleep all the time, right? But seriously, if you're depriving yourself of sleep, you're really affecting your performance. Let me share this other graphic with you that was picked up on Harvard Business Review blog roll earlier in 2013. Looked at research from the journal Nature from 1997. It looked at the effects of sleep deprivation, and it showed this relationship and the reduction in work performance. It then compared it to something else. So what do you think this other thing could be, which results in the same reduction in work performance? A reasonable guess may be less movement, yeah, or nutrition, or other elements that we talk about in SEP. But the surprising finding is that it is alcohol concentration in the blood, right? So what's the conclusion here? If you're going to work consistently sleep deprived, you may as well go to work drunk. It's amazing, right? But it's true. Maybe you do both things, right? That's what normally happens. You're sleep deprived and you're drunk. But seriously, this goes counter against the whole culture of entrepreneurship. Working long hours, investment banking, even for internships, 70, 80, 90-hour weeks. These guys are basically drunk. Yeah? Maybe this explains a few things of the economic crisis of 2007 and 8. Yeah? So the title of this article on Harvard Business Review blog was "Get to Bed by 10 p.m. and Change the World." Now, I'm not sure how feasible this is. If you have a young family, maybe this is the only time that you get to yourself. If you live in Spain, for example, then you're only having your evening meal about 10 p.m. But taking all of this into account, can you just take sleep a little bit more seriously regarding your professional performance? Maybe try and get a half an hour extra during a week. Watch less TV. Think about the effect that this has. Sleeping is a key professional skill. In the armed forces, they teach their recruits how to sleep, how to recover. They have a handbook often with them that shows the reduction in performance with sleep deprivation. So why don't we take this into account within the workplace? So look, I don't expect you to, on your next version of your curriculum, to put down with leadership of teams, financial analysis, sleeping. That's not going to be on there anywhere. But if you can improve your sleep, if you can fall asleep faster, if you can wake up less often during the night, if you can get a higher percentage of deep sleep, if you can wake up feeling more refreshed, these are fantastic benefits which will make a big difference to your work performance and in general to your career. So what are some of the things that you can do to improve your sleep? The first thing is preparing for sleep as for any important task. We often go through a busy day within the workplace and also at home, and then we think, wow, midnight, 1 a.m, I need to get to bed. I have things to do early in the morning. So we have to, first of all, put that importance on sleep. We prepare for sleep as if it's an important meeting. Think about winding down. over a period of 60 minutes at least, preferably 90, and trying to come down off of different stimulants. No coffee, of course. Even coffee in the afternoon can be dangerous for people with sleep issues. No alcohol. A glass of red wine, fantastic health benefits, but probably not in your best interest in that last hour before you go to bed. With alcohol we can often fall asleep faster, but the sleep that we get is very shallow and we don't get a restful sleep. Other things that you can think, and the other stimulant, that we're going to focus on in the next video, is email. How many times do we all check our email, the last thing that we do before we try to go to sleep? Because our smartphones are ubiquitous devices, we use it for an alarm, and so the temptation is always there to check our email. Look, do you really want to dream about your boss that night? So thinking about creating that space of 60, 90 minutes will give you the best chances of having a restful sleep. So another thing that you can do to help your sleep is change your primary mode of breathing. So what happens during the day is that we breathe here in our chest. It's a high breath. But at night when we're sleeping, we breathe here, lower down, through our belly or our stomach. So what we can do, we can change that mode of breathing by simply, when lying in our bed, have one hand on our chest and one on our waist. What you will find is that this hand on our chest will rise first because we're still in daytime breathing mode. So what to do over a period of 30 seconds or a few breaths is change that so that this hand on your waist is rising first. That's then you have changed to nighttime breathing mode, and you'll find it much easier to get to sleep. So something very simple, yeah? So this is sleeping. A key professional skill, probably the most important means of recovery. But there's one other thing that we can look at as a means of finishing this second element of recover. And let's look at this video as means of introduction.